Good day, everyone. We are the Group 8 of STEM 11L. I am Mikaila Nicole Resuma.
I am Rochen Alysa Tuya.
I'm Sofia Loriene Flores.
I am Roman Joseph Delos Santos.
And I'm Camilla Valenia.
And for today's video, we are to solve for the limit of the function using a tubular, graphical, and limit laws in a word problem.
What is limits?
Limits are the backbone of calculus, and calculus is called the mathematics of change. The study of limits is necessary for studying change in great detail. The evaluation of a particular limit is what underlies the formulation of the derivative and the integral of a function.
Now that you have an idea about what limits are, we will go on to our next portion of the video, which is problem solving.
The total worldwide views for Enhypen's Paradoxxx music video, approximated by the function E is equal to 120 n squared over n squared plus 4, where E is measured in view counts and n is the number of hours since the music video's release. If the total number of views during the first hour of the music video is 6,000 views, what will be the total view count after 24 hours? And what will be the music video's overall number of views after 3 years worldwide?
In this word problem, we are asked to calculate the overall number of views on the Paradoxxx music video by Enhypen after 24 hours and 3 years worldwide.
Solving the overall number of views after 24 hours worldwide, we are given by a function of E is equal to 120 n squared over n squared plus 4, where E is equal to 6,000 and n is equal to 24.
To evaluate the limit, we are gonna use the table of values. Our n has a limit of 24 and that will be our constant value in the table. To get our variables, we are to identify the values closest to our constant. So from our left or negative side, we have 23.999, 23.99, and 23.9. And on our right or positive side, we have 24.001, 24.01, and 24.1 as our value.
Now that we have our n variables already, we will substitute them to our given equation, and that will give us the solutions to E of n.
Let us try calculating with our sense calculator our constant value 24. First, we will substitute our 24 to our n variables in our given equation. So our limit will be equal to 120 times 24 squared over 24 squared plus 4. Squaring our n values gives us 576 and 58. We will multiply them 120 and 576, and that gives us 69,120. 69,120 over 58 gives us the answer of 119.172. Do this also with other n variables in the table.
As shown in our graph, we can observe that as n approaches from the left and right of 24, E approaches 119.72 or approximately 120, meaning we have the same value for the left and right side limit of the function. We can conclude that the limit of this function exists and is equal to 120.
We can also solve the limit of the function using the algebraic approach.
Since our function does not equal to 0 over 0 or indeterminate, we can directly substitute the h value to all n variables in our given function. Lim is equal to the function of 120 n squared all over n squared plus 4 as n approaches to 24 equals 120 times 24 squared all over 24 squared plus 4 equals to 120 times 576 all over 58 equals to 69,120 all over 58 will give us the answer of 119,172.4138 or 119.172.
The total of views worldwide of Enhypen's Paradoxxx music video after 24 hours of its release is 119,172.
Now, for our problem number 2, we are asked to calculate the overall number of views worldwide of the music video after 3 years of its release.
We are given by a function of e is equal to 120 n squared over n squared plus 4, where e is equal to 6,000 and n is equals to 3.
To evaluate the limit of function 120 n squared over n squared plus 4, as n approaches 3, we will use the table of values. Our n value has a limit of 3 and that will serve as our constant value in the table. We will just follow what we did to our first table, which is to identify the variables closest to our constant. So from our negative side, we have 2.999, 2.99, and 2.9. And on our right side, we have 3.001, 3.01, and 3.1 values.
Now that we have our n variables already, we will multiply them to our given equation. And that will give us the solutions to e of n.
Now, let us calculate the nearest value of 3 from the positive side. 120 times 3.001 squared over 3.001 squared plus 4. We first multiply 120 times 3.001 squared, which equals to 1080.720. Then we multiply the denominator 3.001 squared plus 4, which equals to 13.006. We then calculate them both to get the answer of 83.093, and do this also with the other variables.
These values can be also verified using the graph of e of n.
In our graph, we can observe that as n approaches from the left and right of 3, e approaches 83.0769, meaning we have the same value for the left and right side limit of the function. We can conclude that the limit of this function exists and is equal to 83.
Now, we will be using the constant multiple theorem to solve for the limit or the overall number of views worldwide after 3 years.
We are given an equation of T of E equals E1 times E2, where the limit of a constant n times a function is equal to the product of the constant and its function's limit.
Our first total view measurement is 6,000 and our second total view measurement is 119,172. We will multiply them to our given equation and that will give us our overall views after 3 years. T of E equals E1 times E2, where T of E is equals 6,000 times 119,172, and that will give us the answer of 715,032,000 views.
The total number of views worldwide for Enhypen's Paradoxxx music video after 3 years of its release is 715,032,000 views.
In our word problem, we apply the concept of limits, especially the tubular and graphical approach, and the constant multiple theorem by determining the overall views worldwide for a music video after 24 hours and 3 years of its release. The concept of limits are applied in real life each time a problem from the real world approaches a steady state solution. An example of this matter is in the field of medicines. Limits can be used to calculate the cumulative concentration of a medication in a person's body. This helps us specify how much medication a person should be given, how often, and how quickly it should be metabolized.
We can apply this concept of limits by solving a situation or event like our topic. Limits can be utilized as a calculation to know the totality of the variables and how this was given out equally. We can apply these concepts to figure out the relevant section of information from the large function.
Limits are used to model tumor growth and predict its behavior and response to treatment by analyzing the rate of tumor growth as the tumor size approaches certain values. Doctors and researchers gain insight to develop personalized treatment plans for individual patients.
Limits can be used in engineering to determine the forces and complex configuration of structural elements. The capacity and shear strength of soil are done using the limits of function, as is the resoluteness of lateral earth pressure and slope stability in complex situations.
The concept of limits can be applied to real-life situations in various ways, including calculating rates of change in many real-life situations. We may need to calculate the rate of change of a certain quantity over time.
And that ends our educational video about solving the overall number of views of Enhypen's Paradoxxx music video using limits.
I hope our video gives you a better grasp of limits, their concepts, and how we can use them to solve issues in the real world. Thank you.
Bye!
Yay!